Proposals solve the problems with Obamacare. Chris Wallace, host of Fox News Sunday, joins us now. Hey, Chris.
Hey, guys. Well, let me tell you, just at the end of the last hour, Jerry Seib was speculating about what the impact is going to be, the reaction from America's insurance companies, and the answer is very negative. Just before the president finished speaking, the America's Health Insurance Plans, that's the trade association for America's health insurance companies, put out a statement. Let me read you some of this, and it's very negative. It says, changing the rules after health plans have already met the requirements of the law, Obamacare, could destabilize the market and result in higher premiums for consumers. Premiums have already been set for next year based on assumptions of when consumers will be transitioning to the new marketplaces. Last sentence. If now fewer younger and healthier people choose to purchase coverage in the exchanges, premiums will increase and there will be fewer choices for consumers. In other words, America's health insurance companies are saying you can't just hit the reset button, Mr. President. You can't just say all those people that we expected to go into the exchanges, including healthy young people, and their participation would lower the premiums for all of these new services that you're going to offer to older, sicker people. It isn't going to work. You can't just pick one piece of yarn out without the whole sweater falling apart. So this is still a mess.
And, you know, the other part is that many of these healthcare providers, United Healthcare, Aetna, as long as 6 months ago, Chris, made the decision to get out of the individual healthcare marketplace. It made no financial sense. The president is essentially saying, oh, well, you can do it all over again, but only for 1 year. I mean, what's the point if you're an insurance carrier to delay it for another year, jump through a bunch of hoops? I just don't see a great many of them willing to take the bait.
Well, that certainly is one of the problems. And the other problem is that they set the premiums for the new exchanges based on the idea that, as the president and the White House has been saying for months, that 2.7 million young people, healthy people, would sign up for the exchanges by the end of March. Now, if some of those people aren't going to sign up and they're going to stay in the old policies, then the whole equation, the whole actuarial tables on which they based their assumptions go out the window, and therefore all of these other services that they were going to offer to older, sicker people, like pre-existing conditions, all the expanded coverage, the caps, yearly caps, all of that doesn't work out anymore, and the companies are going to say, look, we're in business. We're not going to take a loss. If you take away a lot of our income, guess what? We have to get it from somebody else. The only people that are going to be in the exchanges are the older, sicker people.
So
it'll all have to be reworked.
Help us understand this. Doesn't the president and his advisors call in insurers when they're going to be changing a policy like this? Can't we assume that over the past couple of days they've been meeting in a confab with insurers and saying, okay, so if we do this, will there be an unintended consequence of this, or is this cool?
Are you really asking me that question
really
after all we've seen in the last month and a half with a straight face, Allison?
Yes, because they can't be making these decisions in a vacuum. Why would they do that?
Well, I mean, you know, why would they put out a website that a lot of people inside the White House knew wasn't going to work on October 1st, and the president says, well, he wasn't fully aware of it. One wonders about that. You know, why would they promise that there wasn't going to be any people that wanted to keep their policies could keep their policies, when if they'd looked at their own regulations, they would have seen that wasn't true? I mean, it's a very good question, but the idea that they, you know, just the assumption that they had checked this out with the insurance companies, let me just say, reading this statement, they don't seem to have been on board. Whether they had been consulted or not, they certainly hadn't agreed to this.
Yeah, in fact, one of the questions may have provided the answer when one of the reporters said, well, Mr. President, you're in this mess because you're so insular there in the White House and you don't talk to anybody. And the other part of that same question was, can you guarantee us that by November 30th, this government website is going to be up and running and helping everybody? And the answer seemed to be, well, not really. I think we have a clip of that. Can we play that?
I think it is not possible for me to guarantee that 100% of the people 100% of the time going on this website will have a perfectly seamless, smooth experience. We're going to have to continue to improve it even after November 30th, December 1st. But the majority of people who use it will be able to see it operate the way it was supposed to.
So overall, Chris, was this a news conference that instilled a great deal of confidence?
Well, it depends on who you are. You know, it certainly instilled more confidence in me until I read the insurance companies saying, you know, we can't make this work. We've set the premiums based on mandates from the Obama administration for months now, and you're sitting there because you've got a political problem and saying, let's switch it. It doesn't work like that, Mr. President. It's a complicated industry. It's 1/6 of the American economy. You can't turn on a dime because you and some red state Democrats have a political problem.
All right, Chris Wallace, I'm glad Greg and I entertained you so much in this interview. Always great to see you.
Good to see you guys. I hope I entertained you.
Yes, you answer our questions with more questions. We know that style. Thanks so much, Chris. All right, so for more reaction to the president's announcement, plus where the Republicans go from here, let's bring in Congressman Jason Chafin.